Seems like this believer in the spinning ball Earth floating in space got really triggered with my last video. I normally don't reply to videos. I'm a very busy man. However, his response cracked me up, so I decided to take a few minutes to address the questions of this poor follower of Masonic and Jesuit teachings. The burden of proof is carried by those who make the claim.
Exactly. You flirts are making the claim that the Earth is flat.
Here is the evidence that the Earth is flat.
Actually, that's evidence that the Earth is a globe, goofball.
Nope. I just showed 360 degrees of a flat horizon, while you claim Earth is a ball offering no proof of it. Do you claim Earth is shaped like a rolling pin, flat horizontally and curving in front of you? But let's move on with non-nonsense's nonsense. 360 degrees of a flat horizon.
What's beyond that horizon, huh?
More flat horizon. Here is footage from 37,000 feet showing a flat horizon as flat as the eye can see.
Why can't you see all the way to f***ing China?
Because there is water in the atmosphere. Never been swimming? How far can you see when you dive in a swimming pool? Exactly. Not too far. There is water in the atmosphere. There are 2 molecules of oxygen to 1 molecule of hydrogen. It seems like you are not too bright, but let's move on. Globe believers claim the horizon we witness as being flat.
We aren't believers. We don't believe in shit.
Yes, you are believers. You believe the teachings of the Jesuit George Lemaitre and the lies of the Freemason Isaac Newton.
No, you guys make up some bullshit talking about we can't see through the atmosphere. You guys are f***ing goofy.
Again, you don't seem to be very bright. Just check you local visibility on your favorite weather app. All they offer are some CGI images and fish eye lens evidences.
Burden of proof's on you. Prove it's CGI.
Here is the proof that it's all CGI.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Then
There was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere, so I just hit Command Z a lot.
there's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Or fisheye lens.
Here is your mentor, Neil deGrasse Tyson, lecturing you on fisheye lens.
And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, wow, he's in space. Look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball.
They offer no proof of Earth's revolution around the sun.
They're called seasons, and the f***ing calendar you all use every year.
Seasons are caused by the movement of our local sun between the tropics, as my buddy explains it here.
So this is the December solstice where the sun rotates on the outer perimeter of our Earth, which looks like this, so all the people in the middle would experience winter. And this is the June solstice where the sun is rotating more towards the North Pole, which looks like this, so all the people in the middle experience summer. And you have fall, which is in between summer and winter.
There is no proof of a spinning ball. We have zero curvature. Globers, if you claim Earth is a ball, offer us some proof. Put up or shut up.
Here's your proof. Earth is a sphere rotating from Galileo back in the 90s.
Really? An egg-shaped CGI cartoon? Have you ever seen it with your own eyes? Or is it just a belief that is Earth? See, you are full of beliefs. You believe in a rotating egg in space. Give me a break.
Or is it globe, mate?
It's flat.
This is flat. Thank you very much, mate. God bless.
Chicago skyline. Alexa, how tall is the tallest building in Chicago?
The tallest self-supporting structure in Chicago, Illinois is the Willis Tower, which is 1,451 feet tall.
Alexa, how many curvature feet are there of the Earth in 60 miles?
From SureDog.com. Note that at 60 miles the curvature charts show over 2,400 feet of drop.
Alexa, why can I see Chicago from 60 miles away in Michigan?
From iHeart.com. Apparently the Chicago skyline was visible 60 miles away in Michigan because of something called Fata Morgana.
This is not a real rocket. It's a helium balloon. Observe how slow it takes off. No rockets takes off this slow. This is a helium balloon being released with some fireworks on the bottom of it.
Back at it with the 100 proofs that the Earth is not a globe. There are rivers that flow for hundreds of miles towards the level of the sea without falling more than a few feet. Notably, the Nile, which is in 1,000 miles, falls but a foot. A level expanse of this extent is quite incompatible with the idea of the Earth's convexity. It is, therefore, a reasonable proof that the Earth is not a globe. If it doesn't get any more simple than that, I don't know what does. Flat Earth just makes a little more sense to me. I'm not saying that I'm right or you guys are wrong, but it speaks for itself.
If you are still questioning the legitimacy of the flat Earth theory, this may help you. Let me introduce you to a star named Polaris. It's also known as the North Star. This star literally does not move. It is known to stay in the same place year-round. Anyone can look this up. Polaris shows essentially no movement, and they try to say it's due to the Earth's axis, pointing directly at Polaris, which is a load of crap, and I'm going to show you why. We live on God's flat Earth with the firmament over top of us. The sun, the moon, and the stars are all within God's glass firmament dome that He created over the flat Earth. And the sun, moon, and stars rotate around the flat Earth inside the firmament in a circular motion. And remember, we're dealing with the North Star. And on the flat Earth map, the North Pole is directly in the center of the Earth, meaning Polaris, the North Star, would be directly above it. So as all the other stars are traveling in this circular motion around, Polaris is found to not move at all, because it's in the very center. And we've actually been told that the Earth travels 584 million miles through space in 1 year. And you're gonna try to tell me that we see the same stars every single year for the past thousands of years, with the same star in the middle that has never moved, while we're traveling 600 million miles through space each year. Something's not adding up here. You see, the Masons actually know about this as well. They know the actual shape of the universe.
Correct. This is the firmament. Let me introduce you to it. It is in Genesis chapter 1. And God said that when He created the firmament, it was to separate the waters above the earth from the waters below. So inside of this water is a vacuum sealed package that is designed for us. It is our space. Man wanted to get out of that space. They wanted to go out of space. Inside the firmament is the sun, the moon, and the stars. Z, I know they told you the sun is 93 million plus miles away. Not according to Genesis, and at some point you got to take a choice, choose God or choose whoever.
Space is not real, and we live under God's dome or firmament. We're in Genesis chapter 1, verse 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Let's take a look what this word firmament means. The Hebrew word is rakia. It's an extended surface, solid expanse, the vault of heaven or firmament regarded by Hebrews as solid and supporting the waters above it. I'm about to prove to you that we live on this and not on this spinning water ball by using the Bible. We're in Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 26, and above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of an appearance of a man above upon it. We learn that above the firmament is God's throne. This is what he says in Isaiah chapter 40:22. Is it that he sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. So we learn that God stretched out the firmament as a tent for the whole world to dwell in, and he is sitting upon that tent. And when he looks down from that vantage point, we all look like grasshoppers. But in addition to that, and notice how God is sitting upon the circle of the earth, not a sphere. We all know that a circle is a two-dimensional object, and a sphere is a three-dimensional object. If God meant to say he sat upon a sphere of the earth, he could have used the word sphere, or he could use the word ball like he did in a few chapters earlier in Isaiah 22:18. But instead, God purposely used circle, because that's what the earth is, a circle. But guys, I'm here to tell you that God's word is true. He wants a relationship with you, not a religion.
Hot air balloons debunk gravity, the Coriolis effect, and the supposed curve. No mention of gravity is included in the science of hot air balloons because there simply is none to account for. If hot air can overpower the supposed force, then it shouldn't be strong enough to hold anything down. The fact hot air rises should be game over for globies, but they like to think a scientific theory isn't just a theory. But the simple fact is that all proven things have no need for the word theory before their title because they've actually been proven. We don't call magnetism the theory of magnetism because we can demonstrate and prove its existence, but there's nothing that proves gravity, hence why it's known as a theory. You see, the term scientific theory literally means an accepted hypothesis. It has no relevance to actual proven scientific facts until the hypothesis has been proven. Then the word theory is removed. You're not a random mutated bacterial fish monkey living on a spinning molten cord water ball corkscrewing through infinity. There's purpose and meaning to all things in existence.
We are approaching the vertical descent phase 2, which will have the lander module hovering at nearly 150.
Some people think God created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe, which is the funniest guess. And the nothing people make fun of the God people. They say God doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, maybe. But you know what definitely doesn't exist? Nothing. That's the defining characteristic of nothing, is that it doesn't exist. So what are we talking about? Either you think it's God, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove, or you think it's nothing, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove. But I think we can all agree, if your nothing sometimes spontaneously erupts into everything, that's a pretty magical nothing, you guys. And ask the nothing people, what happens when you die? They'll tell you, nothing. You go into nothing. I'm like, you mean you merge back with your creator? That's heaven.
This solid metal plate is floating in midair. No strings or wires holding it up. And no supports underneath. Pretty tricky, huh? Actually, this is how it works. These are large electromagnets. When the current goes through them, they create a strong magnetic field which supports the plate in much the same way that water supports a cork. And with the General Electric electromagnetic levitator, it's now possible to suspend objects in midair without any sort of visible support. General Electric engineers have used this principle in developing a new kind of GE watt-hour meter. That's the device you have in your home to tell you how much electricity you've used. Inside is a disc like this. And it spins around in a small magnetic field with virtually no friction at all. General Electric scientists hope to develop other frictionless bearings, machine bearings that may never wear out, all based on the same principle.
Antarctica is defined as anything beyond the 60th parallel, latitude south. Anything outside of being a tourist which may cost tens of thousands of dollars, and you will be watched the whole time and taken only to certain areas. Will have to have a special permit to visit. You may have access to all areas if you become a designated observer by your nation. Good luck with that, as we know they will only select members of secret societies to become designated observers. If you try to cross the 60th parallel south with no authorization, you most likely to be arrested like Jarl Antoy, who was sentenced to prison and had his yacht confiscated, if not shot dead as some of his friends.
The goofiest fake professor on the internet exposes himself. Listen to what this says about himself.
I didn't know what the channel was going to become. I didn't know it was going to become the centerpiece of my life, and that it'd become successful and everything, and that I'd go on to explain dozens of other topics, including topics I know nothing about, but I hire experts in the field to write me the scripts, and then consultants to look at the scripts and look at the finished animations and make sure it's all good, right? I'm not professing to be an expert, honestly, in any academic field, not even chemistry. But I understand it very well, and then the stuff that I don't understand, I have people who do understand it explaining it to me. Chemist and proponent of intelligent design James Tour wasn't a fan of the...
You know that I have not been a proponent of intelligent design.
And proponent of intelligent design James Tour. I just thought it'd be fun to have like a little persona, you know, Professor Dave. It's just, you know, a little name. You know, I don't have a PhD in chemistry or anything, but I, you know, did work in, you know, I took courses with laboratory components as an undergrad, and then I did most of a master's in synthetic organic chemistry. But I didn't really last long. I dropped out in my second semester. I wanted to move up to San Francisco and play music, and then I moved down to Los Angeles again for music opportunities, and but I eventually got this teaching job for organic chemistry at this little trade university. It was a pretty lucky break because with a bachelor's degree I was only supposed to teach the laboratory portion, but on the first day the lecture instructor had this freak out. He just took off, and so my boss came up to me and he said, look, you gotta go teach the lecture. There's nobody here. They offered me the job permanently, but contingent on me getting a master's at the same time. So I went over to Cal State Northridge to give a second shot at a master's degree in chemistry, and found that I really hate it. I really didn't like it at all. Do not enjoy doing chemistry. But through a bunch of bureaucracy, quite frankly, I lost that job, so I had to withdraw yet again from the master's program. Or a lot of you ask very incredulously, are you a real professor? I sit literally in this room like 60 to 70 hours a week, and I chose the name really without much thought. It was kind of tongue-in-cheek, to be honest. I just thought it'd be fun to have like a little persona, you know, Professor Dave. It's just, you know, a little name. They offered me the job through a bunch of bureaucracy. I lost that job. I chose the name. It was kind of tongue-in-cheek, to be honest. So, and even at that time, I had no interest in being a chemist. Do not enjoy doing chemistry. I really hate it. Professor Dave, it's just, you know, a little name.
So let's get this straight. Professor Dave is not a real professor. Dave taught courses before getting a master's degree. Dave dropped out of graduate school twice. Dave lost his teaching job. Dave then created a YouTube channel and called himself a professor. Dave has now over 1 million dumb subscribers, being the majority made of globe-tards. Dave then attacks one of the top 10 chemistry professors in the world. Dave is the most arrogant globe-tard on the internet.
Also, did you know there's this wonderful book called The 16 Emergency Landings That Prove a Flat Earth that completely debunks the globe within a few hundred pages? Let's just look at one of the examples. From Santiago to Johannesburg, and they emergency land thousands of miles above the equator. Now, if we're flying from a southern continent to a southern continent, why in the world would we cross the equator at all? But not only that, by thousands of miles to emergency land. Does that make any sense on the globe? Or when we look at it on a flat Earth, looks like they were pretty much going in a straight line. Pretty weird, huh?
Don't waste any more time. Visit my link tree now and order the book 16 Emergency Landings Proving Flat Earth. Visit my online store now and order the awesomely enhanced new Gleason's map. Order them now before they start rewriting our history. This is a quote from the book 1984 by George Orwell. Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book rewritten, every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street building has been renamed. Every date has been altered. And the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped.